You should see it in the title. It's easy to tell.
Oh, yeah, right there. New software, who dis?
That's right. We're using new software. Isn't it fancy? We don't need Skype nonsense anymore for this.
I wonder
man, I hate Skype so much. StreamYard seems cool. We played with it a little bit as guests yesterday on the Rot Gut Review 1 year anniversary stream.
That was a fun time.
And it seemed so easy to use that I went and signed up. So we're trying it out. See how it works.
I need to address something right away.
Okay.
Before anything. So, it would seem really simple, just like putting my knife in here, grabbing a hold and peeling it away, but I cannot get the wax off of this sample bottle here, folks. So those of you in the chat that have a great method to remove the wax from this thing without, chipping it away piece by piece with my nails, which don't exist.
You just got to smash off the top on the side of a table and then just drink from the sample bottle.
This is why I asked you people at home in the chat.
Because my advice is always horrible. That's a solid
Brad's
thought.
advice sometimes gets me in trouble with my wife.
Travis in the chat saying
Sniper Max says twist it off. That's the first thing I tried, buddy. Oh, now that I've gotten okay. Ladies and gentlemen,
Mike says, yo, you're in.
He did it. Success.
That's what she said. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. So what I am opening here, folks, is this is a Highland Park 12 that was done for Texas. It's from a refill sherry cask or sherry butt, I guess, and it is at 62.7%, and that will be my first dram of the evening.
It's a good one.
I'm going with a cask strength Shelter Point that I just got. That is referred to as artisanal cask strength whiskey because it's not any particular category because they mixed in some rye with some single malt and some different things, I think. And it is coming in at 58.7%. So we're starting off strong today, I guess.
Fitting for our name.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit left out now because the theme for tonight was whiskeys we've never tried before. And all the whiskeys that I currently have with me, I have nothing at cask strength that I haven't already tried. But I do have some Jura Prophecy that our good friend over here in the middle, Dan, gave to me that I haven't tried before. In keeping with Scotchtober, I'm sticking with Scotch tonight.
Fair enough.
All of my selections this evening also happen to be Scotch. So, this is
one of mine is.
Yeah, it still counts. We'll allow it. So, who's in the chat tonight? We saw Mike in earlier. Mike McDonald, Mike Lissak's also in the chat. John V. Hey, by the way, John V, good job with the echo last night. We're not the only ones now.
Don't be causing problems. He was already blaming me for that somehow, even though I wasn't there then. I got blamed for so many problems on the Rot Gut stream last night, and only some of them were maybe my fault.
We got Dave K, Mr. David Kramer, who is hosting his annual tasting this weekend, which we are all looking forward to.
Absolutely.
And he just said Saturday's
fun.
Saturday's going to be a spectacular way to ring in Scotchtober, and it definitely is. I've been looking forward to this pretty much since the day after last year's tasting.
Yeah.
Oh, Travis has a question, and that gives me a great chance to try this silly StreamYard feature where you can put up comments.
Oh, cool.
It says, Brad LeClaire is an artisanal, gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan craft whiskey. Yes, probably not. Yes.
Yeah.
Artisanal is gluten-free. I don't know if it's non-GMO. I have no idea what grains are in there. Vegan should be
vegan.
And craft, vegan. So mostly yes. But I'm not sure about non-GMO.
Right? I thought that I read that somewhere that there was no that it should be vegan.
I think so.
Yeah, whiskey should be vegan.
The only one
mean,
I'm not sure of is the non-GMO, which it might be. I just have no idea.
at some point in time, most things that are produced in any capacity, be them consumables or not, affect the life of an animal in a negative manner at some point.
Right.
But that's another discussion for another channel that is not us.
Right.
We just drink whiskey and look pretty.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, speak for yourself.
I will.
I guess it would
beard's really
depend.
pretty.
It would depend if yeast counts as vegan, right?
Oh, that's a Well, is bread vegan? Are there vegan breads and non-vegan breads?
Yeah,
But
I guess.
you can have breads that don't involve yeast though, like non-rising breads and things.
We should bring on a nutritionist for this for this topic. But I'm going to continue on with the chat so I don't miss anybody. Matt Whiskey Crusaders is in the chat. We mentioned David Kramer. Tim from Austin's in. Jason Unsworth. Trevor Wilson, we've discussed. Donald Rance. Victoria C. There's a new name I don't think I've seen before. But I've been away for a while, so maybe that's just me. Guys, have you seen Victoria?
I'm not sure, but my memory for names is horrible. So it's certainly possible.
Well, welcome, Victoria. Is your first? If this is your first,
Either way, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Patrick, my whiskey den, is in the chat, doing some great stuff over on his channel. Go check him out. Greg T.S. Who else? Brandon Elliott. Cool, awesome. Well, welcome in, guys. I hope you're enjoying your Wednesday night. I'm gonna start off with a little bit of a weird question. Have you guys ever drank whiskey after brushing your teeth, or shortly thereafter?
Unfortunately, yes.
I have not.
Have not. Have you had orange juice after brushing your teeth?
Yes, I'm a human who's been alive.
So I found something out recently that kind of not blew my mind, but like just kind of made me think. Do you know the reason why you can't things taste awful after you brush your teeth?
Probably because of the mess your palate is in after the chemicals and whatnot in the toothpaste.
Yeah, the chemicals eliminate your sweetness sensors on your palate. So all you taste is like bitters, there's no balance anymore. It like just clogs up all your sweetness, and yeah, it's yeah. I saw it on Reddit and I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. And this morning I woke up, brushed my teeth, had a bit of orange juice, and I was like, oh yeah, it is all bitter. There's no sweetness, because I've never actually obviously you don't. You're just and you force it down, but yeah, you get all the bitter. Yeah, that was a bit of the day.
Makes sense.
I am fairly good for avoiding everything after I brush my teeth for a while, just because everything just tastes so bad. I mean, sometimes coffee is unavoidable.
Yeah,
sure. For those of us that have super early wake up times and don't get enough sleep, and coffee becomes a medical necessity.
Right.
Yeah. So, how are you, gents, liking your whiskeys?
This is great. I'm really, really enjoying this, actually.
This, I'm gonna let it breathe a little more and have some more time on it, but this might be the best Highland Park I've ever had. It's darn close. Highland Park does really well in sherry casks, turns out.
Fair.
Yeah, this Jura Prophecy that you gave me is really tasty. I'm not a big fan of Jura usually. I've had what have I had? I've had Oh, I don't even remember the two that I've had, but I didn't quite enjoy them, and I guess not remembering them, their names makes sense because
What's the other Superstition, right? Sure.
Superstition. That's the one I had, and I don't remember the other one.
There's quite a few.
Yeah,
There's a bunch.
I believe they also have a 3-wood. Or no, sorry.
It's like 7
It's
wood
6.
or something. 6 wood.
It's 7. It's 7, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. 6 or 7. Yeah, it's a lot.
I
A
believe
lot of
it's
types of wood.
It's 7 wood. I've had the 7 wood.
Yeah, 7 wood.
I've had the fairly old one, and I'd have to look in my journal. I didn't do any prep here.
Why
but
would you? That would be great.
The Prophecy is my favorite readily available Jura. It's really nice. It's pretty balanced.
Nice.
I wasn't expecting a lot because, again, like, I didn't really enjoy the Superstition.
It reminds me a bit of bourbon.
This Prophecy
Yeah,
might be why I like it so much.
maybe. It's just got like a bourbon sweetness, and I'm sure that's from the cask because I'm sure it's ex-bourbon. Could be solely ex-bourbon, but it's got that wood sweetness that that I normally associate with bourbons.
Yeah, it's
bad.
it's really nice.
It plays really well with just the malt. It's almost like it almost tastes a bit like what's it called? Like the milk after you finish all the Lucky Charms.
Okay.
Got
All
like
right. I haven't had some in a while.
I had some. It's been a while for me too, but I just remember it like it does. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like sweetened malt.
Okay.
It's good. It's very good.
So it is their most heavily peated that they offer. It's meticulously crafted from a selection of the finest and rarest aged Jura single malt whiskeys. Prophecy is a profoundly peated spirit.
This is peated?
It's their most heavily peated.
I think I'm broken.
Oh no, Vito's broken.
I don't taste the peat, guys.
Well, it compared to Isla peat, which is probably the most peat you've had, like that's what you're used to. It's certainly nowhere near that, which is
even like the Campbelltown and Longrose I've had. Maybe I gotta pour a little bit more of this.
Did you just brush your teeth?
No, I didn't brush my teeth.
John V says, time for a dry week.
No, we have Texas next week, man. No,
Donald,
geez, yeah, no, can't do
Donald
it.
Grant is asking if any of us have had the Highland Park trip. Okay, yep.
There we go.
And I have not. Truth be told, I'm going to be honest here. So the LCBO doesn't have a great track record for choosing good casks.
Can confirm.
So, and the question is, and I never explored this, Donald, is whether this was bottled by them, like chosen by Highland Park in conjunction and had an Ontario exclusive, or if LCBO actually chose a selection.
There have been good Ontario exclusives, like the Jameson Bows.
Oh, it's spectacular.
That is like the distilleries working with each other with breweries and things, but
LCBO,
not the LCBO picking.
Yeah, the LCBO cask selections are pretty brutal. But when a distillery works with a brewery or a winery, I think the LCBO is just the middleman that makes it happen versus them selecting individual casks. So, like the Glenfiddich Winter Storm, right, is in conjunction. Glenfiddich and Peller Estates work together on that one. Jameson and Bose work together on theirs. With the LCBO just bringing it into Canada. The Highland Park one, I'm not too sure if that'll. It says Ontario exclusive, so I'm almost inclined to think that it is a single cask that they chose, but it could be wrong.
Yeah. On the that tomatin that you guys love, we don't that is truly the whiskey that shall not be named, and it's not for any positive reasons.
Oh yeah,
Does
that was
Dave
rough.
have any more of that? If he
Probably.
does, I'm gonna bring the sample thing and give it to our dearly departed Josh Galladay.
We need to do that. Yeah.
Get some to Ed.
That too.
Mm.
That too.
Get some to Ed.
Ed needs some of that.
All right, Dave. We know how to empty your bottle of Tomlinson.
Yeah. So, Whiskey
Oh,
Crusaders.
we'll bring some to Matt too, because he loves Tomlinson.
There you go.
Tomatin, they should.
This might be the one that spoils it for you.
Yeah, it might just be. All right, so I'm in a bit of a drinking mood tonight. So I've already finished my pour of Jura Prophecy.
Woo!
Thirsty. All right.
And yeah, very thirsty. So I guess while I'm pouring this Old Pulteney single cask from 2002, all ex-bourbon, aged 15 years, 56 ABV, cask number 704.
Ooh.
This is a sample given to me by Adam, our good friend, Adam Brudner. And I haven't had this one yet. So an Old Pulteney is one of those. I always found Old Pulteney to. Okay, so here's my thing. I don't like Oban. I'm not huge on like that orange zest Terry's chocolate orange type thing that it's got going on.
I'm with you.
So the Old Pulteneys that I've found have the same that same sort of orangeness to it. So I'm hoping that this changes my mind on Old Pulteney.
John V in the chat is saying, "Poor Ed, the garbage disposal of whiskey tubers." He does it to himself. He has chosen that life. It's his own fault.
Those of you, I don't know most of you guys in the chat too well, but those of you that are in Texas, which seems to be like 50% of the online whiskey community, if you can get your hands on some of this Highland Park 12 Texas edition, I strongly suggest picking it up. It's classic Highland Park, but because it's at cask strength, it's just fantastic. It's nowhere near the standard 12-year bottling.
Oh my.
Obviously because of the proof and the sherry finish, but this is wonderful.
Good to hear.
Yeah, so John V says any of them. They have the West and East Coast editions, and he's yet to see a bad review. And I agree. Single cask Highland Parks are in my top like 5 favorite whiskeys. I've had a lot of them, and they are all spectacular. I'm about to open for my next dram. I'm gonna open a Kirkwall Bay, which is a independent Highland Park, and really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So I'm getting a bit of heat on the Oban thing that I mentioned earlier. Not that I don't like it. It's just that orange zest kind of throws me off a little bit in conjunction with all the other notes. Like I'll still drink it happily. Like it is a good whiskey. It's just like that one note just kind of like sours it out for me.
That
I agree.
The citrus rind or citrus peel note that you're semi-explaining, I guess, with orange is a note that I used to get from a lot of Speyside and Highland before I became more experienced, before my palate was adjusted to stuff that wasn't high proof bourbon or heavy peat.
Right.
And it's not a note that I really enjoy. I don't enjoy a citrus note that is that strong, that's almost like a rind or a peel.
Yeah.
If it's like a sweet citrus, like the fruit itself in there with other stuff, I can dig it. But when you get that rind, it's almost like you've bit into a orange peel.
Yeah.
It turns me off, and that's one of the main notes that for a while kept me away from some Highlands and some Speysiders and a few Islanders too. But luckily, I have gotten far past that.
Yeah.
Because
Because John said he loves citrus though, so that's the appeal to me. I love citrus too. You know, maybe I'll have to give it another shot. Maybe my palate's changed a little bit in the last couple of months since I've had Oban. So I'll give it another shot. I'll happily give it another shot. Like, I'll drink anything. Maybe not to the extent that Ed drinks anything,
Right.
but I will drink just about anything. To answer Jason Unsworth's question, what about Clenleash 14? He says it's kind of a lemon zest to it. I love Clenleash 14. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, it is a weird combination of flavors for Oban that just kind of don't hit the mark fully for me. But I'll give it another shot. I'm sure someone will have some Oban at La Quinta next weekend, so load me up. I didn't even notice. DJ One's in the chat.
He is.
Love that.
He's
love
everywhere
that
these
handle.
days.
Love that handle, man. Oh, so good.
yeah, Sniper Max says the Highland Park Valknut was pretty good, and it was super
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely.
Very, very good.
Yeah. I can comfortably say that Highland Park is in the group of whiskeys that are batting 1,000 for me. I've never truly had something I really didn't enjoy from them.
Highland Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, Glengoyne would be my distillery that's always batting 100. Like, it's just too good. You're fine. Go.
Yeah, probably Talisker would be that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a surprise, probably.
Compass Box,
Sure.
Bruichladdich.
Well, Compass Box does have the orangery, though.
I haven't had it though.
Other than that, I would agree.
Yeah. We're just gonna ignore. We're gonna ignore.
Yeah, let's just pretend that doesn't exist, and then
Yeah,
Compass
I
Box
feel
definitely
like they even like afterwards they released it and saw some reviews and were like, maybe it was a mistake taking a gamble on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's a very specific flavor profile. So if you're into that, maybe you love it. I don't know, but it's extremely divisive.
I mean, I'm down. I'm down
whiskey
to
people.
try it. I'm down to try
No,
it.
I have become pretty steadfast in my following your guys' advice. I'm so lucky that I have all of the Canadian crew to learn from and avoid whiskeys before I spend any money or time on them.
Yeah, the what is it called? The Brain Trust up north is pretty strong.
It is. I have a very, very amazing reference group. I have a wealth of knowledge to tap into whenever I need to.
I need a refill, so I'm going for a Westland single cask number 546 from Total Wine.
Nice.
Good, eh?
What's happening on in the chat? Sniper Max asking if I have the Magnus. I don't have it, and I haven't had it.
The Magnus I feel like I had it. I took a sip of it I had a sip of it at the Caledonian once. I don't recall liking it, but don't take don't use that as a gauge. But,
at what point in the night? Because when we go to the Caledonian, or when one goes to the Caledonian, there tends to be several whiskeys consumed.
Yeah. No, it was a quiet night. I was with another one of my buddies, not our usual crew.
Hey, Ed.
Oh, Ed is
Ed. What's going
Ed's
on,
alive and well.
Yeah.
He didn't die from that horrible concoction at the end of his stream last night. That's good.
I missed it last night.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was rough. It was
I'm
rough.
sure
by
it's
the end.
up to watch, like most streams. If that's available, you guys should definitely check it out because it was a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
I definitely had fun in our little time slot there, and everyone else was having fun, and that was a good fun stream, and it was a good occasion on his 1-year anniversary. So again, congrats, Ed.
Ours is
Yeah,
coming up.
it was a great time.
Ours is the 12th. Is it not, Brad?
That sounds right.
I think ours is the 12th, which is what day next week?
When you are in Texas.
Yeah.
No?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Saturday.
It's Saturday. Okay,
yeah,
so
it's during the best.
this will be good because we get it. Me and Brad will have an hour, I think.
I think it's a half hour.
Half hour, even better.
I mean, we'll probably be randomly streaming bits and pieces throughout the day. But.
Yeah. So we'll have half an hour where I think we can make this happen, where we can have Dan on, and the three of us and Josh can sit down. And if Josh is available, I know he's going to be pouring that day for Ironwood, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But
we'll track him down.
We'll do a very kind of quick 30-minute live stream celebrating our 1 year, as well as celebrating the fact that we're at the Bastards Ball with everybody. That'll be our celebration for our 1 year. And knowing us, I'm sure the internet at the campus is going to completely just crash when we start streaming.
Could be.
So I just want to give a quick thing. So my buddy just walked by, and he's not a huge Scotch drinker. He's more on the bourbon side, and he tried some of this old Pulteney that I poured out, and he's like, "Oh, this is pretty good. It's pretty good."
We have a pretty good track record of converting bourbon people to Scotch people, don't we, Dan?
Can confirm big time.
So John says that he can cover the table for Josh to sneak away. Hey, you know what? If Jonathan and Robert say yes, then for sure.
That's between you and them and Texas law. I'm not sure how that works out. But.
Yeah. So Dan Sullivan is joining in the chat. Welcome in. What's everyone drinking? Because we didn't really ask that earlier. And it's always interesting to see the variety of things that everyone's drinking.
Absolutely.
Dwyer, can you bring the fan in here? I'm dying.
Hey, put some water in that HP, dude.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I promise to you, I vow to you, Vito, that I will. You really wanted me to. I totally didn't.
I straight up believe that if you put a bit of water in there, that your mind will be blown.
You're gonna make me go back to. I'll go back to it after this next pour of the Kirkwall Bay. Has anybody ever had this Kirkwall Bay?
Well, I haven't. I wonder the chat. Wait, so where's Kirkwall Bay? Like it's just a blender, right?
No. So
or independent bottler.
This is Morrison and McKay.
Oh,
so
okay.
Independent single malt from Highland Park. It is this classic single malt from the Orkney Islands celebrates the Bonnie Kirkwall Bay, capturing in a glass the character that is the essence of the Orkney Isles. Its rich maritime history is renowned as its whiskeys are legendary, complex and flavorsome, and redolent of peat and the sea.
All right, then.
So hopefully I'll have better luck opening this than the last one. Beautiful.
Balcones Froke in his glass. Trey Kuntz?
Oh, Froke is tasty.
Froke is that last year's or the wide release? Because I forget if I had even asked Josh or any of our Texan friends if there was a discernible difference between last year's sort of distillery release and this year's more widespread release.
All right, let's see if we get a good...
for Sniper Bag.
Mackier Bay.
So good.
This Westland is like weirdly peanut brittly. It's super, super nutty.
Interesting.
I like nutty Americans. Oh. So let's see if we can get a good pop here, folks. Here we go.
That's what she said.
I hit the microphone with my hand.
I think that's the second time you've done that.
Synthetic.
Good. That's the best kind.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so here's what. Okay, so rank Brad start, then Dan, then me. Rank your top cork varieties.
Synthetic cork, screw top, actual cork.
Synthetic, natural, screw top. That's for preference. For functionality, I'm not going to argue that screw top takes it, but synthetic definitely, just because it's functional and you still get that whole cork feel and experience.
It's still satisfying, but you don't have
Yeah.
to worry about all the nonsense with real cork.
Yeah.
But
breaking
if I
apart.
managed to stop being a cork snob when I was into wine, then I'm pretty sure I can stop being a cork snob when it comes to whiskey.
Yeah. Quick farewell to Jermaine Compton. He'll see us at the ball. Awesome, you're going to be there.
Sweet. See you there.
Dave says that it could also be Scapa, and it could, but I did do a bit of research, and it seems to be evident that it is Highland Park.
So I'm gonna go with Brad's. I'm gonna do a synthetic screw top natural cork. I prefer if like I said, the natural cork just there's so many variables that you have to worry about with natural cork that just kind of hurts my heart.
Yeah.
Right. Because
I've broken.
I want to put it above the screw top just because strictly from a traditionalist standpoint. And I've noticed that about myself lately is that I'm so traditionalist in certain aspects of my life, and it hurts sometimes because I know I can't be that way all the time just for convenience or functionality or whatever. But screw top beats out the natural cork for me.
Absolutely. The only thing I really don't like about screw tops is when I forget that something is a screw top and I try to pull it out like a cork. It doesn't work. Oh yeah, all right, got a twist.
Well, this is why there's one reason why I don't like natural corks right now.
Oh yeah,
yep.
That'll
do it.
Was that a George Stagg top? Oh,
Junior.
Oh,
yeah,
Junior.
Stagg Junior. That's good stuff too.
Which is going to be my bourbon infinity bottle. I scratched off everything except for the antlers on the bottle.
Nice. So that old Pulteney was damn good. Damn good.
John V just said the same thing happened to him with a Hakushu he was drinking last night. Japanese. A lot of Japanese are screw tops, regardless of how expensive they are or anything. So, yeah.
I think that's something to do with just the sheer volume that they drink.
I wonder what's worse, trying to pull off a screw top or trying to screw a cork.
Quick good night to Matt from Whiskey. He's taking off.
See you later, Matt.
Sorry, Dan, what was your question?
Me?
Yeah, did you have a question? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, what would be worse, trying to pull off a screw top or trying to screw a cork?
Pull off a screw top.
I don't know. You could sit there turning for a long time.
That's true. If the cork was loose enough that it would just spin, that could be a problem. But you'd probably notice fairly quickly that it wasn't going anywhere.
I'm just stubborn, so. Okay, I'm going to move on to my next one, which is Linkwood 11-year Cadenhead.
Ooh, nice. So this is definitely got some youth to it. It's very vibrant, definitely young. And I don't have anything white really to hold up besides writing on it. I don't know if you guys can see the color of it is pretty light.
That's straight farm straw right there.
Yeah. In fact, that is what I would write in my journal as the color, and it's very sweet.
I don't know
Oh,
where I
gee.
got the
Sweet
Oh,
sample.
barley.
DJ11 in the chat is saying his infinity bottle is a Hibiki Harmony bottle. I use a Hibiki 17 bottle just because I happen to have an empty one from my first whiskey tasting that started my whiskey journey a couple of years ago. So that
I
has
have-
been my infinity bottle for
It's a
sentimental reasons. It's the same bottle as far as I know. For
Yeah, there's no
the
difference. The
Hibiki.
Hibikis are all the same bottle.
No, some of them have more facets.
Oh, okay.
I just read it recently actually about the Hibiki. So they've
that's
got that
interesting.
same shape, but some, I believe, the age stated ones have more facets on it.
Okay. Well, either way, it's the same style. It's a great looking bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a very commonly used infinity bottle, like
I'm sure. Yeah.
big
I
time.
have a Harmony Infinity bottle as well.
And as soon
Great.
as my Caribou Crossing gets emptied, that's going to be my Canadian infinity bottle.
Nice.
Couldn't name a better one.
Yeah,
Do you have a Blanton's?
I do.
Then there's your
Yeah.
American
That's
whiskey.
true. Yeah, it's not empty yet, but it'll get there.
I mean, we can make it empty.
That is true. We could.
I might
I do
actually-
need things to bring to
sweet.
Toronto this weekend, so I could just empty that out.
I'm between Saturday and next week. I think I'm not gonna make it, guys. I don't think I'm gonna make it back to Canada. There's just a sliver of me that thinks that I
We'll
am
make it.
going to end up like in a ditch somewhere.
Nah.
I'm gonna have to put a tracker on me. I think we joked about this too.
Ooh, Ed.
He still thinks it's a joke. That's so cute.
Ed's they're all talking about infinity bottles on the chat, and Ed's currently is Jameson Black Barrel, but once he gets through HP the Dark, it's getting switched, and that would be an awesome infinity barrel or bottle rather. Infinity barrel would be a
Would be.
great idea too.
That would be.
This thing was pretty good.
I could clean that thing out and make it an infinity barrel back there.
I mean, why would you clean it out? Or is it dusty inside?
Well, I don't know how long it's been since it's been used. I would have to do some prep work on it to make sure it doesn't leak.
True.
This has a lot of icing, sugar, sweetness. It's definitely got that bit of Highland Park peat in there. It's nowhere near a traditional Highland Park on the nose or on the palate. It's very, very tasty. I was expecting perhaps a little more alcohol forward because of how young and bright this is, but it's actually very, very nice. The sweetness is reminiscent of a typical Irish sweetness, which again can vary, but it's got that buttery kind of icing sugar sweetness with the Highland Park peat in there. Cereal, sweet cereal. It's very, very nice. Very nice, actually. I'm happy with this purchase, which I ended up getting on clearance and using gift cards. And I can't remember, but I think it cost me $7 out of pocket.
Nice.
Word. So this Linkwood, the note that I was fighting to grab, you guys ever had Betty Crocker chocolate fudge cake?
Sure.
Yeah, again, yes, I'm a human being.
Son of a bit. That's what that it has. It's got all the typical characteristics of like a Scotch, but like it's got that weird, not weird, but it's got a dense chocolate icing flavor profile to it that's just like hitting me right now. It's actually really nice. It's turned my head because when I first tried it, I was like, I don't know if it is like that great, and then like it settled, and I was like, oh wait a minute, Like it just kind of evolved on the palate really nicely.
I have never had a Linkwood.
I'm just playing with StreamYard at this point. I figure I might as well
That's pretty
fiddle
cool.
with some of
Actually.
the options.
Yeah, I've never had a Linkwood, but currently, because I know everybody does this at some point in time when they're browsing on whiskey shopping sites. Everyone looks at stuff for their birth year, right? Like
Yep,
I'm not
sure.
the only one.
Sure.
Currently, the only affordable 1984, and by affordable, I mean like I'm definitely sleeping in the doghouse if I got it. But
Just whispering.
it's
It's okay.
not
Shh,
completely out of my financial grasp. Is a Linkwood.
Nice.
And I've been humming and hawing for a while, and it might be something I buy myself for Christmas.
Yeah. I've been hunting for the same thing myself, and one of our friends, Tim, found. I think it was Tim. Yeah, it was Tim. Found a 1989 Bunnahabhain out in Texas, and he messaged me one night late, and he's like, "Hey man, I went back to the liquor store and they put out more of that Bunnahabhain 1989. He's like, "Do you want me to get you one?" And I saw the price, and I'm just like, "Oh man, I wish I could, but I can't." It killed me because Bunnahabhain is one of my favorite distilleries, and it was just like, damn, I wish, but like I'm. If you guys haven't noticed already, like I'm not at home. The entire house is being renovated. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. So I'm kind of couch surfing right now. I'm with one of my best buds right now, and his lovely wife, who have welcomed me in for a little bit. But I was just like, nah, I can't do it right now. It's just nah, and it just pained me because I've been looking so long for a bottle from 1989, and it was so hard to find. And then something pops up, and it's just like, god damn it.
Yeah, I'm with John V. I'm getting kind of too old for that. Bottles from 82 are getting real pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you it wouldn't be the most expensive bottle you've ever bought, Brad. So.
Probably not. Probably not. But it would be up there.
It would be up there. Yeah, definitely.
DJ11, is it me or does Brad look like he's scanning monitors for alien invaders? You don't worry about what Brad's doing, okay?
What Brad does in his spare time or on stream is not to be discussed.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm going to pour myself some Anuk Pete Hart.
John Gunsel, Highland Park has always been a little underwhelming for him. Not bad, just wanted more. So
I agree with them.
John, if you get the chance, and I don't know if you have had, and if you had, then disregard what I'm saying. But if you get the chance for an independent bottling of Highland Park, or a true single cask, or anything cask strength, give it a shot. You don't have to take my word for it. I have tried a lot of stuff.
Isn't John in Texas?
I'm not sure. Yeah, John, if you're in Texas and you can get the Texas edition of the Highland Park 12 Sherry, it is spectacular. It really is. Most of my favorite, all of my favorite Highland Parks are independent bottled or single cask, and they're just spectacular. Yeah, he is. So
yeah.
I know you guys have a million stores. But if you can somehow hunt one of those down and it's affordable, I would pick it up. They truly, I mean, this can be said, of course, about a lot of distilleries, but they really shine through their single casks. I do enjoy the 12. I do enjoy the 18. I enjoy the fancier, like legendary releases they've had, but the Texas Highland Park is like $150. Trey Kuntz says.
Okay, so John, I'm gonna do you a favor, but just because you're a good guy, I'm gonna bring a little bit of what I have left of my my Texas edition.
Nice.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try and bring this. If not, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna bring you a taste of it. Yeah, I hope you're gonna be at the ball. If you're not, we'll try to arrange something. But we'll get you a little bit of this for you to try, and maybe it'll change your mind.
Eric Waite's here. Hey, Eric.
Hey.
Eric Waite said that he's drinking samples from Bimber Distillery in London. I picked them up during my trip to Scotland. London isn't in Scotland, so you are definitely in a trip in Britain, in the United Kingdom. So I think you need to learn your sentence right there.
No, he could have picked something up from London in Scotland.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm just a dick. I'm sorry.
or he had a stopover in London on his way home from Scotland, which would be common.
Would be common. John Gunsels, he'll be working at the ball. Who are you working for? Or are you working security?
Throwing out the riffraff.
That'll definitely be Eric Waite. I'm actually excited to meet Eric in person.
Me too.
He's been very kind in our few text conversations and our couple of streams with them. So I'm excited to actually meet him in person, as with everybody else. Obviously. John's working for Crowded Barrel. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's not news.
That's not news. No, I've just been out of it. I'm sorry, my memory.
Vito's a little bit broken. We'll have to forgive.
I'm very broken.
Forgive his broken brain.
I'll definitely
It'll
not.
be okay.
I won't be fixed until the house is finished in hopefully January, February. So,
Trev Wilson is trying to see if he can be converted to Scotch at La Quinta, but he has his doubts. So I'm just gonna say it's gonna take time. I'm assuming that you're a bourbon guy, Trev Wilson, which I was heavily. There was a point when 99% of the bottles I had were bourbon, and the remaining 1% was Canadian, or an American rye. And now I can safely say, like, you can't really see it here, but the brown rack that I have over here of samples is my American, and then the big giant other one I have is Scotch.
We've converted him successfully.
Yeah, and like bottles. Looking over at my bottles, I've got. I only have 20 bottles of bourbon. And the rest of my collection is all Scotch and some Irish and Canadian and Japanese. But
Trev, we'll take care of you at La Quinta.
Yeah, you're going to have to find the right one that's going to open up the door, just like anything.
I think there will be a little bit of a selection at La Quinta.
You might
probably find something.
And this is apparently not the normal route to go, but for me and another good friend of ours, James, who was also a heavy bourbon guy, I went from bourbon right into heavily peated Islay, and I found this switch very easy. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I think it's because, and again, like most bourbon I had was bottled at pretty high proof. I believe that's the way to go for bourbon, but that's another discussion. I went from high proof bourbon all the time into heavily peated Islay, and just that strong flavoring is I think what made it easy to convert. And for quite a while, I really did not enjoy unpeated Speyside or Highland drams at all. And then slowly I opened up into there because of these guys and what I have tried. And now it's like all 3 drams I'm having tonight are Scotch. And if you were to go back a year previous to this, I would probably be drinking all bourbon. I do love bourbon. I still love it. It's fantastic. It's great stuff. I owe my love for whiskey to bourbon. But take some time. If you don't find something at the ball, that you enjoy, don't write off Scotch. Take your time. Whenever you get the chance, reach out and try something. When you go to bars or something and there's reasonably priced stuff, reach out and try it all. Try some heavily peated stuff. Try something from the islands, which is, you know, very maritime and usually peated but not so heavy. And try some sweet space ciders. Try some Highland stuff. Try sherry finish. Try, you know, ex bourbon.
Buena Hobbins is always like my go-to option for a bourbon lover. And like even Jason and like Jason from Mash and Drum and Chris from Bourbon Sane, both just fell in love right away with Buena Hobbin 12. Chris was a huge bourbon. And then he texted me, he's like, "What Scotch should I have? Should I get it?" I said, "Get a Buena Hobbin 12, man. I think that or a Talisker 10. It's got a little bit of everything in there. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of peat, a little bit of malt." And he got the Buena Hobbin 12 and he blew his mind. He's like, this is great.
Right? Malted in Montreal showed up in the chat. Hey man. And he's saying go Sens go, which I'm not sure is some kind of sport.
Well, they just lost 3-5 to the Buds. So
wait a minute. Why is Swami saying go Sens go? You're not from Ottawa. You're from Montreal.
Are you not a Habs man?
I'm a Habs. I'm a Habs fan. If I were to pick a NHL team, that would be the team. Because listen. There's a story behind this. Okay, real quick story time with Vito. When I was born, my father went out, got me a Montreal Canadiens toque and mini stick. And I'm not a big hockey fan. I'll watch hockey on occasion. But if you ask me, hey, what's your team? It's the Canadiens. That's just what it is. I was born.
Hockey is the one with the ice, right? Just
that's the one with the ice.
It's sports puck.
Slippy, slidey, sticky puck.
That's right.
Yeah,
that sounds familiar.
Or you can be like the Americans and just steal the name of an existing sport. Call it tennis.
Sure.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to allude to there, but I don't like your tone particularly. I'm gonna pour this Aberfeldy 24 1993 Gordon and
MacPhail, yep.
Hell yeah.
That I got from our friend Rob from Whiskey in the Six.
Eric, wait a second. It's pronounced Buena Hobbin.
See, Sniper Mac knows what I'm talking about. And it was said earlier that rye needs to get some more love around here. Jason, I am going to, just for you, my next individual review video will be some rye, because I love rye. I absolutely love rye.
The Shelter Point had some rye in it. Does that count?
Yeah, there you go. And even as a Canadian, I love American rye. I think Americans do rye on the whole much better than any Canadian distillery, save and except for Lot 40 cask strength.
Sure. Because
that stuff is just out of this world. But right now I'm really into the Michter's straight rye. It is, and it's for me, it's really low proof for a rye, but I love it. I'm sure everyone knows what it looks like, but it's just a knockout single barrel rye. It's super dilly, and it's one of my favorite classic rye notes is that dill. Dilly.
Oh, Canadian Whiskey Smith just showed up. Hey, Teresa. We probably won't be going on for that much longer.
For a little bit longer, I think.
A little bit.
Another 10 or so minutes. So I wanted to kind of double back a bit. Nope, sorry about that. That was the laundry. I want to go back a bit because Donald Rands asked a good question. I don't know if, Brad, you can put it up real quick there. He asked, so have you gents given any thought to the topic of if there could only be one distillery? And I feel like we may have touched upon this, but
yeah, we absolutely did.
But I'm fine asking it one more time. If there could only be one distillery, it would 100% be Glengoyne for me.
Really?
Yeah. As much as I love peat, like that's what got me into whiskey. I've had some less favorable peated expressions from some distilleries, Lafroig, Ardbeg. Like they're always amazing, but like it's almost like Ardbeg's too easy of an answer. But Moore's up and down. Even some Bunnahabhains I've had have been, a lot have been great, and one or two have been like, eh. But Glengoyne, every single Glengoyne I've ever had has been absolutely stellar. Like I've had the 10, the cask strength, the 12, the 21, the 25, the 30, and it's like they're all magnificent. And
For me, it's without a doubt all day and night, up and down Bruichladdich.
Sure.
They have stellar non-peated and they have stellar heavy peated. So I could live the rest of my life no problem drinking Black Art and Port Charlotte, or Black Art and Octomore, or some of the barley releases, like the Isla barley is really, really good. The Scottish barley, any of the Port Charlottes, any of the Octomores, and again, any of the Black Art is some of my favorite. I'm huge into wine cask finish. So I could definitely say without a doubt, and I have put lots of thought into that one, it would be Bruichladdich for me.
Yeah, Bruichladdich is definitely up there. I could handle that if that was doing the distillery. That and Talisker would also be cool with me. I haven't had one that I haven't really loved so far. Right up until like the super cheap, like the Talisker Storm on age name and stuff, like it was great. And I did a tasting in Toronto a while back where a lot of people were enjoying the Storm more than some of the other Taliskers when they were doing it blind.
That was really fun. And informative.
Ardbeg is probably up there too for me. I haven't had really anything that I haven't enjoyed from them. There's a bunch. Definitely mostly the peated sort of stuff though for me.
All right, few people leaving Sniper Mac. I always want to say Mike. Good night, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. As always, good to have you here. And someone else, I believe, Mark JG. I don't know if you saying hello or goodbye with that evening, everybody. So if you're leaving, good evening. If you're here, good evening.
I feel like Hulk Hogan right now. I want to do this. The Aberfeldy. Oh my. I can't even I regret now doing this last.
Really?
I regret doing it last now. Oh my. I got to come back to this. I might do a review of this.
Do it.
Excellent.
God damn
Canadian Whiskey Smith is saying Springbank forever. They have their place. I've had a couple of Springbanks that were a little funky for my taste, but I definitely
love the
enjoyed
Campbelltown Funk. I love the Campbelltown Funk.
It's fair.
I am about to pour some Kilkerran heavily peated.
I just got a little bit more of the peat heart because I needed some more. I'm cheating.
Because I had to get some. It's been a while since I've had some Campbelltown.
John V is saying funky is the goal. That's fair. And I definitely have enjoyed several of them.
Yeah, this is just a label. It's not the actual bottling, but the North Star Campbelltown is knockout.
I don't have that one, man. I wasn't part of that split.
Me either.
Yeah, it is spectacular. For a 4-year-old, it is just stellar.
And in the chat, the Rock Gut Review saying, keep Campbelltown weird. It's fair. It's a good Austin reference.
Good night, Dan Sullivan. Nice to see you in the chat. We'll see you next time, buddy. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah, right away. This is so funky. Have any of you had the Kilkerran heavy peated? I think you have, Vito.
No, Adam still has my sample. We just I don't understand. I live
Oh,
so.
it's so funky. I love it.
Sorry, Eric Waite in the chat is saying he loves E150A in large doses, so it would be Dalmor for him.
Yeah.
He had a smart ass.
Oh boy.
John V is cracking open a Kilkerran 8-year cast strength tomorrow to celebrate his mortgage refinance. That is a spectacular dram. Love the 8-year cast strength. I believe we had that last year at Dave's tasting.
Which one? Sorry.
The Kilkerran 8 cast strength.
Jason Unworth is heading
Are
out.
you sure?
See you later, Jason. See you next week.
Jason's leaving?
Yeah.
Why don't I get that?
Night, Jason.
Oh, there it is. Night, Jason. No, I don't think it was the 8.
Yes, he said yes. Batch 1 at the tasting. It definitely was.
There you go.
He brought it back. He brought it back from Scotland.
I wasn't sure if it was the 8 or the 12. I know because he has the 12 as well, doesn't he?
Yes, Dave has everything.
Mm.
Dave has everything. Dave is very much like Brad. If those of you, he's not super active in the chat, but he is here paying attention. Dave is super knowledgeable, super generous, and a big part of the reason why I enjoy Scotch so much. He has spoiled me a lot. And he knows his stuff and has been to Scotland like many of you have, and I'm very envious of. But yeah, so just throwing him under the bus there. If anybody wants to ask any questions, Dave's a good guy to talk to.
Yeah, we had the 12 and the 8th at my birthday. That's what I was remembering. Eric, wait, I tell you that I brought home a bottle of Kilkerran cast strength from the distillery, but someone would accuse me of bragging. Who would accuse you of bragging, good sir?
How dare they?
See, I bragged for Dave. Dave brought his home from the distillery, I believe, or at very least from Scotland. I can't remember if it was from the distillery or not, but Richie Z, cast strength. Hey, gents, Brad Vito, and the new guy, and whiskey friends. Hey, Richie Z. You can call me Hayes or the new guy or Dan, but new guy works because that's who I am.
It'll work until I'm fired again and replaced with another new guy.
I mean, there was a point today where I was almost well, not really almost. I asked if I was fired because of my my absent-mindedness, but apparently that's not a reason for termination at cast strength.
Clearly not, because I'm still here. His legal name is not Josh. Ed in the chat.
Man, this Aberfeldy is so good.
Oh, this Kilkerran heavy peated is also spectacular.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this peat heart quite a bit. Although they say it's heavily peated, and I don't know, the peat is just super soft to me. But it's there. It's good. It's great, but it's not. It doesn't hit me super hard.
The only experience I have with Anok was the 2002 we had at Spirit of Toronto. And it was very nice. It was one of the nicer ones on the evening. Now, having said that, I believe that was immediately after we had that stock and barrel that wasn't great.
Yeah.
Dave's asking Vito which one, the 12, 15, or 21, and I believe it was...
Which one? What are we talking about? Sorry.
Vito's probably looking up at Pittsburgh Steelers stuff.
No, I was talking with our friend Terry Dolan about some plans for next week. Sorry, just because I know it's late for him, so we were discussing that very quickly.
Oh, the Aberfeldy.
Oh, sorry, it's an Aberfeldy 24 from distilled 1993. Gordon MacPhail bottling. That's all the information I have on this because it's just if you guys can see, it's just a very small, like 1.5 ounce sample. So yes, but geez, man, it's Yeah, it's really, really good. Really, really, really good.
DJ11 is heading out. See you later, man.
Later, bud.
Oh, Teresa has got a Springbank tasting coming up at the end of the month, and she's hoping for some hard to find Kilkerrans.
Ooh,
I hope you get some too. That would be really nice.
Alberta gets all the fancy stuff.
They really do.
And she's about to crack some Lefroy Quarter Cask, which is 100% my real gateway Scotch.
That is my gateway Scotch as well. And I think I might have a sample, and I'm going to break the theme for the night and finish off the night with that.
Bunch of cheaters.
There's only I'm limited with my selection right now because I'm literally traveling with my suits and my whiskey.
Nice.
I have no other possessions with me other than those two things. So.
Priorities.
Yeah.
I was packing up my car. I was packing up my car with everything, and my parents were saying, like, are you bringing this? Are you bringing this? I'm like, no, I got my whiskey. I got my suits. I'm like, I'm okay.
Oh, and Dave K is going with No Name #1. Ooh, that's good stuff.
I thought I had some quarter cask in here. There it is. I found it.
Yay.
So, Brad and Vito, of all of the whiskeys that tonight you tried for the first time, hit or miss, or all good, or what? Would you buy them again, or what's the overall opinion on?
For me, I would definitely get all of these again so far. The Shelter Point, I think, is my favorite. Weirdly, I was expecting the Pete Hart to be my favorite, and it is great. But the Shelter Point was magical.
Vito?
So 3 of the 4 that I had tonight are probably going to be very hard to find again, especially the Aberfeldy 24. But I would have to. Okay, so if you can find it, if you can find all four of these, I would put Aberfeldy 24, the 1993 Gordon MacPhail as a must buy. I would put the Old Pulteney 2002 single cask, 15 year, as a must buy. The Linkwood, I would give a solid sort of like buy it because you're probably gonna like it, but it might not blow your socks off. And the Jura Prophecy, I would say buy it and you'll be surprised by it. But I wouldn't say it's a must buy. But if you want to try a Jura, that would be the one that I would probably say because that's the one I've enjoyed the most.
All were hits for me, for sure. I really enjoyed all of them. The Highland Park 12 Texas Sherry at cask strength, certainly I would pick up. Somebody earlier mentioned that it was $150. I have definitely had more expensive whiskeys that didn't taste as good. I would certainly pick it up for $150. The second dram I had was the Kirkwall Bay, the independent bottled Highland Park, and I would also pick that up. Up here, I believe the retail was around 90 to 100. And certainly worth it. I used gift cards to pick it up, and it was on clearance, but it was well worth it, and I would buy one for $90. And the last dram I had was the Kilkerran Heavy Peated, which I'm enjoying still right now, and I have no idea about retail on it. I know it's certainly not going to be readily available, but I would absolutely pick it up. I'd spend 3 figures on it for sure if it reached that point.
Nice.
So yeah, 100% success rate for these 3 drams that I have never tried before.
Nice. I like this. I like this. We should come up. Yeah, it should either be. I think we should do this every stream. We'll have a couple. We always have a couple of whiskeys on tap. So I feel like we should make a rating system where it's like, hunt it down and buy it, try it out or avoid it. Just very, very simple. Like it's a must buy. You should go and try it at a bar, and you might be pleasantly surprised and buy a bottle, or just avoid the shit out of it.
Yeah. So on that new scale you just created, I would truthfully, I would hunt down all 3 of the drams I had tonight. Very pleased. I'm actually going to have a bunch of water and some crackers and take my journal and revisit them and make an entry in my journal on at least a couple of these because I really enjoyed them.
So very quickly, before we sign off, Ed from the Rocket Review, go subscribe. He goes, I go big and then go dark and wake up in my neighbor's bird bath. To which Mark Goins says, is there a bird bath at La Quinta? Because that would be absolutely fantastic if there was, because I would love to wake up, look out the window, and just see Ed sprawled over the top of a bird bath with the water fountaining on top of his face.
That would be amazing.
That would be absolutely fantastic.
Teresa asked earlier if that was the cask strength shelter point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the artisanal cask strength whiskey. Whatever that means.
And the whiskey friend, I didn't see their name earlier, so I'm not sure if they're just joining in. And you can tell that I've had a bit of whiskey and nothing to eat prior to the stream, which is usually the case.
Oh, you know what I'm getting now? Really strong. Like a porridge, like a slightly smoky, like real deal porridge.
What are you drinking?
Pardon me?
What are you drinking again?
The Kilkerran heavy peated.
See, excuse me. I poured some Lafroy Quarter Cask in honor of Teresa, and the combination of whiskeys I've had tonight, I smell no peat. I smell all barley. A little bit of like a medicinalness, but I smell almost no peat off of this right now.
I love so this is another thing that we should maybe do in another stream, and I'm definitely going to address it in a solo video. Is getting over that peat hump.
Oh, there's the peat. Never mind. Okay,
like
yeah.
When I first tried quarter cask, like the first half of the bottle was just like campfire, and then when you get over that peat hump, so to speak. Hashtag Pete Hump.
Oh, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
You can start to really get all the wonderful nuances that are hidden underneath. And Quarter Cask is one of my favorite because, again, it's the first I tried and was like smack you in the face, Pete, super campfire.
Yeah.
And then once you get your palate trained to it and you pick up so much wonderful different things in there. And it's probably the best and biggest turning point in my whole whiskey journey has been getting over the peat hump.
Yeah, we'll go very, very deep into this because for some people, like I hated whiskey before, and then I had the Quarter Cask, and it just changed my mind, and I didn't have to get over the peat. It was very strange, and then when I'm with my buddy and his wife, and who's also one of my very good friends, and last night after Ed's stream, she saw the bottles on the table, and she was like, "Oh, what are these? Can you explain them?" And I was explaining them, and I opened up the Octomore, just as like a gag, and I was like, "Smell this," and she lost it she's like, she's not a big whiskey person, but she's like, how can you taste? It smells like pure gasoline fire. And I'm like, yeah, you know, it was a whiskey similar to this that made me like whiskey, and I didn't have to go over the hump. So for some people, you don't have to. If you get the right sort of peat profile, it's like it's easy. It's like nothing, right?
Yeah. My first peated whiskey was Ardbeg 10, and it was instantly like, oh, okay, I like whiskey now. This is good. Like just for whatever reason, the balance was just right. Like it's not too sweet, everything's good, perfect.
Yeah,
but I understand like it would turn a lot of people away.
A lot of people off. Yeah. All right, so let's not get too deep into that because we'll leave that for maybe next stream. Talking about just and maybe we should talk about entering into peated scotches, because my journey into whiskey began that way. Dan's journey into scotch began that way. And Brad is Brad.
Brad's whole life is around it.
Yeah. So okay. So let's leave it at it. It's been an hour and 16 minutes and 3, 4, 5 seconds. So let's call it a night, guys. Cheers to everybody. We really appreciate you all sticking around and
Cheers.
Joining us for a dram. Tell 2 friends to tell 2 friends about us, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah,
Cheers.
do all the YouTube-y things, the subscribing,
like and subscribe and follow us and
whatever.
See us next time, and all
fight
that
about
jazz.
whiskey in the comments. Good times.
Sláinte.
See you next time. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.